Good afternoon. This is Glenn DeAndrews of Glenn's Word coming to you this lovely Saturday. What's today? I think it is April 22nd. April 22nd, 3:30 on the East Coast here, just outside of Atlanta, Georgia. And this is my word and opinion and perspective for today. As usual, get over to heroesandkings.world. Heroes and Kings and H&K Next Level Training is my personal training business, my health coaching business, as well as the apparel store we created about 4 or 5, 6 years ago. Still going strong. So please go over to heroesandkings.world for the apparel. I'm on Spotify. I used to just do this just in voice form, and it's now Glenn's Words on Spotify, Audible, iTunes, all other platforms. What else? Oh, and also I am an author. Wrote several books on manhood, childhood, what it is to be a black boy, black teenager, black man in America, going to an HBCU, master's degree, Six Sigma, married, 2 kids, no DL, no wearing ladies' dresses, none of that kind of stuff. Just a straight, traditional black man trying to make it in America, trying to make it on this planet. What have I seen? What have I observed? And what I can put out for anyone who sees this today. Saw the situation with the young man in Michigan who was shot for going to the wrong address. There was another situation with a young lady who happened to be Caucasian, and the young girl was killed because her and a group of her friends went down the wrong road because of an incorrect address. There was another situation where there was a basketball that rolled into the yard of one neighbor from another neighbor, and the family, a couple and a young girl, was injured. There's been some situation in Tennessee with the vote and representatives being kicked out. I heard that some laws have been moved around and shifted around and put back or turned the clock back in Mississippi. Sports, I saw the situation where Draymond Green ankle was being grabbed by Sabonis, and then it appears that he's stepping on him. On the other side, I see where Coach Sanders in Colorado sold out. The stadiums, the season is sold out. Season tickets are being sold out. Games are being sold out. So Deion Sanders, Coach Deion Prime Sanders, has brought value to Colorado and the University of Colorado football team. But I come back to the young man that was shot in Michigan, who's doing pretty good, but psychologically he's going to need therapy. Similar to Emmett Till, similar to Ahmaud Arbery, and all those in between. gun violence. I am a gun owner. I've been around guns all my life. But more than owning guns and having guns, I've also been taught tactical responsibility. Also, too, in some cases, race was involved. In some cases, race wasn't involved. There's this big push to remove TikTok and how TikTok is used in China versus how it's used all over the world. I'm watching what is happening globally. Social media is powerful. Just like TV, newspapers, magazines, books are powerful. There's a difference between being educated and being programmed. The Bible has been used to program versus used to educate. I have a son and a daughter. A lot of what I do and how I move about this world, because I know that it is much more than about me. How I move, not just on America, not just when I travel abroad with a passport, that it's not just about me. I represent men, black men, married men, fathers, Morehouse, Southeast San Diego, the Andrews name, this community, organizations, this country. And I'm cognizant of that at all times. And the reason why I am aware of that at all times is because I've been educated versus programmed. I no longer watch TV. I quit watching TV about 15, 20 years ago because I understood how it could set the tone of how you think, how you move. And if you watch the evening news, it's more scripted than telling a story. Just as listening to the grandson of the individual who shot that young man in Michigan, he said he watched Fox News, and watching the loop of over and over and over again, setting up a narrative of setting up a stereotype. It's like he's a pit bull that's been fed gunpowder and Tabasco, which that was something that was done by individuals who've owned pit bulls and who fought them, like who did dog fighting or wanted the dog mean, made them irritable. Everything I see, everything I watch or observe, even on this channel, I see this thing with this Just Pearly things and all the individuals connected to her or not connected to that whole situation of the so-called manosphere. And the individuals who are in the chats and who comment. During the pandemic, a seed was sprinkled and fertilizer was sprinkled. And I just was in Mount Rainier for a while, hiking the mountains. Then I was in Sedona in the desert because I got my family away. Fertilizer, if some of y'all don't know, is kind of mixed with cow manure. And it's part of the the recycling process of how things could grow, like compost. Sometimes when you plant seeds and use fertilizer or compost, sometimes you get a flower, sometimes you get an onion, and I say a flower, I say a rose. Sometimes you get an onion. Some folks like onions, some folks don't. Then sometimes you get weeds. This world is fertilizing, has fertilized and always have allowed weeds to grow. And it's almost an imbalance of a lot of weeds have been allowed to grow, and they're straining the nutrients of the roses. You hear a lot more. My neighbors out cutting their grass and I have the window open. The weeds are straining the nourishment of the roses. And then you have the onions. Some folks like onions, some folks don't. I don't like onions. But I'm particular to roses. The children of this world are the roses. That next generation and the next generation, and even some of them folks my age, I'll be 60 in August, are the onions and the weeds. I got a trip tomorrow to the local hardware store, and you know which one, the big one. I got to get me a new trimmer, a new weed cutter. So as I observe and know what I need to do around my yard as far as landscaping, as far as keeping things looking pretty and keeping things smelling good, looking good, allowing the roses to bloom, I need to get me some tools and clean up. And that's what I see in the Black community, in some of these neighborhoods, in this country, and around this world, and on YouTube. I see a bunch of weeds. Some of them are dressed like onions. Some of them are cloaked in roses. But when you peel back the rose, there's a weed or onion in there. The onion is up to you to decide if that's your flavor. I know of no one who does not like the smell of a rose, the look of a rose. But I know a whole bunch of individuals, if they own a home and have landscaping, don't like those weeds. There's a few individuals I've seen on this platform Y'all have words for individuals who are not alpha, and I won't, or not alpha men or strong men. And I won't use those terms here because I understand how words are powerful. I understand the spelling of words and the communication and the vocalization of words are a spell. So I'm not here to cheerlead, promote, and to bring that kind of energy. But what I will say, there's an individual who, similar to the propaganda that was used to control a country to hate a group of people, as well as the propaganda that has been used around the world against folks who look like me, whether they're from Africa, Haiti, Cuba, South America. Like the idea of calling the Middle East anything other than what it is when it's in Africa, which Africa actually is called Akabulan. And let's be clear about that. See, when you're programmed and programmed by weeds, that's the way you think. But when you've been programmed by roses, Dr. John Henry Clark, W.B. Du Bois, Carter G. Woodson, Malcolm X, E. Franklin Frazier, Dr. Carol Wayman, Dr. Willis Sheftall, you move a little differently. You observe the world a little differently. I am a Morehouse man, and I have some esteemed, highly credentialed alumni. If you walk across that stage as a Morehouse man, it's a whole different paradigm. You see the world differently. You don't see the world as a follower. You don't see the world with your hands in your pocket. We're always in the leadership position, right or wrong. But we understand humility, accountability, responsibility, and execution of action. Things are changing rapidly with this technology. And I would dare say this low frequency and low vibration, as well as low IQ, there's a divide between progress and regress of human beings. We got to do better. I see some African American men who are like court jesters and clowns, dressed up like roses, but they're weeds. See, when I turn this phone off, leave what is my son's room, which he's at college and away, and I've turned this into my office, there's a world out there that I step out the front door into. Actually, I wake up to that world in the morning, and the first thing I do is I do not look to be entertained. The first thing I do when I wake up is one, thinking about the push-ups I need to do, the task at hand, and how can I be better. So there's some weeds out here, and with everything that's going on, I'd rather we see who's for us than who's against us. Then you know what team individuals on. And at the end of the day, I'm on Team Humanity, definitely on Team America. No more, no less. So some of you gonna have to ask, or look in the mirror and address what team are you on. Because your words and your actions say something else. This is Glenn's words. Out.